Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Dearest Mother, Love Ruthie. Ruth Smallshaw Ray's Letters to Her Mother, 1946, Part 24. Florida School for the Deaf and the Blind, St. Augustine, Florida, November 26, 1946. My Dearest Mother. Hello, darling. I got your very nice letter this afternoon, and it was sure swell to hear from you. I was also happy to see Buddy's little pink note enclosed. But hey, what's this about no Christmas tree? You'd better have one, really, 'cause at least there you can take snaps of it again and send them to me. Well, I can dream, can't I? Speaking of taking pictures, on Saturday, Marion and I went downtown. And after partying, we re-met in the post office and went to the drugstore for lunch. My birthday party, because Marion gave me a present. A Kodak 620 folding camera, loaded. And is it ever super? So we'll send you some snaps sometime, dear. Hope we can get some color film for it. She had to wait for the camera, as they're hard to get. Did I ever mention meeting a Canadian insurance agent who said if I ever needed help to call on him? He played bridge for me last week. He's about 60 and quite a talker. Well, he and his wife were talking to me in the post office while I was waiting for Marion. As conversations do get around to the funniest subjects, they advised me not to even think of giving up our Canadian citizenship, as they've been here 20 to 25 years and still haven't. When they heard the American officials hadn't taken our papers while crossing, he advised us to go to Jacksonville and have them sworn in. Yesterday we went over then, and he arranged for the British consul to take us over to the American consul and explain the situation for us. So we go in tomorrow. So it's just as bad when they don't take your papers as when you haven't any. Since Thursday is Thanksgiving, we may stay in Jacksonville. Don't mention this to anyone. December 8th is the final date, so we were lucky to find it out in time. Dr. Settles was in yesterday and asked if I know of, quote, any other good teachers in Saskatoon who might want to come down too. So I guess he must be satisfied with us. We are the youngest on the staff here, and only a few others haven't got degrees. Most have. Wish I did. Gee, it was swell to hear that Grandma is doing so well. I must try to write again. Oh, I'd heard about Diana's engagement, but didn't know those were the circumstances. Sounds just like Diana, though. Oh, Mother, but is it hard to believe now? I guess what is hardest is that it's so late in November and so lovely here. Did I mention that I haven't had my green coat on since the night I left for Regina? No, Bud, it doesn't snow here. Mrs. Averill hasn't seen snow for 30 years, and her daughter Joan never has in her life. I taught art this afternoon, and walking home I was hot, so you see. Haven't worn stockings yet. Was it ever cute as another teacher and I came along the sidewalk? There was a whole string of 4 arms reaching out through the rails. My little girls and boys. Did I ever get thrilled? Sure like to see Bud's bedroom. How have you fixed it up, Bud? How are your bowling scores? Do I ever miss our bowling league? I really miss Saskatoon a lot. I miss Canadians. People here, at least a lot, are, wilder, not so conservative. A lot are nice, though. I guess you noticed we have some very quaint, narrow streets here. Yesterday a fellow in a car driving by put out his hand and touched my hair. We were on the sidewalk, and I just about had a fit. I was so startled. They thought it very tricky. Another thing, no one seems to really work. There'll be at least 10 fellows in each filling station. They couldn't possibly keep busy, although the cars stream along. It's so funny to see Christmas gifts and paper in the stores. They say Santa is in Tampa. The sleigh must have had a hard time. They also say that they string Christmas tree lights on the palm trees downtown. Bet that looks cute. Boy, I'll sure be dreaming of a white Christmas. I thought that was the cutest joke. The sailor who went into a nightclub and lit a candle on a little cupcake and sang, "Happy birthday to me." Sounds like me. Marion got the swellest chocolate cake and jelly roll from her mother. We're sure guzzling it. Imagine, good Canadian cake. It took 5 days, but was okay. How about some brownies, dear? Oh, the Negro janitor quit, and now they have a young 6-foot-tall fellow, also Negro. Better go now, dear, but I'll be looking for a letter from you. Love, Ruth. P.S. December 1st, 1946. Another mommy note, dear, and this will probably sound cornier than the last. The longer I'm here, the more convinced I am that I like sane northern people. There's a fellow here, 30, divorced, and supposed to be good-looking, owns the Beach Hotel. He's been taking one of the teachers out, and she seems to like him. I've never seen him. He approached Marion and told her he wanted to be engaged, and that she knew the girl that he wanted to be engaged to. He'd seen her three times with Marion, once in a bank, once on the street, and once dancing with a sailor. About the only red-haired girl in town. He asked Marion what kind of a fellow she, Ruthie, liked. Marion said, "One that made no passes." Marion told me this, but I just thought it was a story. However, he phoned, and it proved to be authentic, and he asked me to go out. I'm afraid, dear, you didn't bring up a very romantic daughter. I imagine it would have been quite an experience, but it just sounded corny to me. Maybe I just have a cynical viewpoint of the Southern male motives, but I don't want to be engaged anyway. So I said that it was thanks a lot, but no thanks. I'm honestly convinced there are more wolves in one block in the South than all Canada put together. I can sure understand how you felt in Winnipeg, 'cause I miss Saskatoon. I love you, Mommy, and miss talking to you, dear. Write and tell me what Bud and Daddy might like. I gather the belt didn't go over so well. Anything like an alligator wallet, shirt, sweater, pen, watch strap? How about some suggestions, plural and size? Also, if you have anything especially dear in mind for yourself. Love you, Ruthie. Florida School for the Deaf and the Blind, St. Augustine, Florida, December 1st, 1946. My dearest mother, but it just doesn't seem possible, dear, that it's December already. I don't think I'll ever get used to the fact that it's really winter. As we were having lunch just now, we noticed out the window another yacht going by in the harbor, and it just struck us how pretty it looked. It really is a thrill to us prairie chickens, but just a common thing to everyone, of course. I was happy to get your letter and missed Bud's note. No, dear, when I get lonesome or homesick, it isn't the thought of Christmas, because so far we don't feel a bit in the mood for it. It's mostly just being away from home, and you for so long. I still hope you get a tree and take snaps of it, though. Oh, we got along fine in Jacksonville, and I guess we won't get deported after all. We were very lucky that we discovered we had to send the papers in. After December 8th, we would have had to make a re-entry into Canada and back with new papers. We caught the 1 o'clock bus after school Wednesday into Jacksonville, and went to the British consul, who was very nice, and took us to the American consul. There, about 7 men, know more statistics on us than we do now. We had to take another medical. The doctor checks your heart and holds your hand. Quite a medical. They asked a lot of questions about our intentions, and finally, upon digging up the fact that the government paid my way for my other course in the United States, also accused the government of paying my way this time, with the apartment I go back next June. How do you like that? Of course, I got mad until I discovered he just wanted to see my reaction. Then they questioned us if we were married yet. We've been here 2 months. They predicted we would be soon as, quote, It gets in your blood down here. What an office. 3 asked for our address at different times in case they were visiting St. Augustine. So help me, but I know what they mean about Southern temperament. I can just see British officials like that. Hardly. Well, Georgia invited us over for Thanksgiving, but we'd promised to go with Zoe and Polly, and we really had a feast. Crab meat, entree, turkey, baked yams, salad, stuffing, cranberry sauce, mince pie, coffee, $2 each. Sure wish I could have whipped home. So many on the bus were going home for Thanksgiving. We went to the Bob Hope show, and he even seems Canadian, possibly because he's associated in our mind with Canada. That's a lovely word to me right now. It was sure nice to see George and Elizabeth on the wall of the British consul's office after seeing Washington and Lincoln everywhere. Isn't it funny how you don't really know yourself? I never realized before how British I am. Another thing, I just think little Negro babies are darling, and we don't especially feel like shunning the Negroes. On the bus, Marion told a Negro woman she could sit on the arm of her seat. Immediately, a couple of fellows remarked we were from the North, without even hearing our accent. Yes, we have a marked accent, believe it or not. Apparently they have to keep the Negro in his place, so don't let them have privileges. I met the bishop after church today, and later Mrs. Averill took us to visit a woman and see the portrait she'd painted of him. Very good. We also visited the home of one of the millionaires in town. What a place, like a hotel, really a showcase. Mahogany carved furniture, chandeliers, mirrors, really an old home. 2 shiny black sedans, colored servants. What that little green stuff can buy. The fellow was Mrs. Averill's husband's partner before he died, and 3 years ago. And 3 years ago I thought the Parrots had such a wealthy home. Prices have risen again, more tourists, and single rooms now rent for $80 a month. Eggs about 80 cents a dozen. A piece of steak half the size of this page, 72 cents. But it's sure lovely to be warm. As the fellow who owned the place we had dinner said, "I bet that's the first time you were ever dressed like that in November." We had cup-sleeve dresses on. I got myself a pale green sweater in Jacksonville to wear in the evenings. It's cooler now, about like July. They had the last football game of the season, and afterwards English and his friends drove us around to a few places. I taught Sunday school this morning. Write to me. I miss you. I miss you. Love, Ruthie. 28 Water Street, St. Augustine, Florida, December 12th, 1946. My dearest mother. Hi, dear. How is the sweetest mommy in the world? Holy Dinah, mother, I'm ashamed to say you raised just about the biggest baby in the world. I think I'm going to go crazy. I'm okay at school or when I go out, but the moment I write, Dear Mother, the tears roll down until I can't see, and there just doesn't seem a thing to say, but that I miss you so darn much. So, honey, I'm sorry I haven't written, but I've tried and tried. Oh, please, Mother, don't ever let me be so far away that I can't go home for Christmas. I just can't bear to think of it being Christmas and no family. Oh, everything's fine, so I thought I'd better let you know. We've been to a few shows and to Dixie's with the kids. At school, I've been decorating my room, and I got all A's for my art assignments. One woman at the last lesson asked if she could sit beside me, because she said I was better than the teacher, and the week before she'd hurt her neck from straining to watch my drawings. Nice from an older woman, anyway. And then at Dixie's with the sailors, English came in, so Marion slipped out before he saw her. He came over to me, asked how I was, where Marion was. The sailor didn't like that, and for a while the 3 fellows sat there. It got straightened out finally. Marion had to choose between them. Tomorrow I'm taking some of the kiddies to the circus, and after art class, Georgia has invited us to a party. I'm going to a show. So better get ready. Santa came to school. He arrived by seaplane. He just sweltered in the outfit. Oh, darling, this sounds weak. I know, but it's just that I'm okay as long as I don't think. When I do, it's really grim, no kidding, to think of not seeing you. Do I ever love you, Mommy? I think we'll go to Miami for the holidays on the 21st. Love, Ruthie. 28 Water Street, St. Augustine, Florida, December 21st, 1946. My dearest mother. Hi, and how are the best people in the world celebrating their Christmas holidays? I only wish I could be with you. Really, I do. I finally got the parcels off and wish they'd get there in time. But I'm so afraid they won't. But remember that they are coming. I'll try and send a couple of little things airmail just so you'll know I'm here, okay? It's been very difficult to do Christmas shopping here. St. Augustine's stores just aren't. So last Saturday, Tommy drove us into Jacksonville, and we managed to get a few things. This is going to sound silly, but everything I saw, all I could think of was, gee, Mommy would like that. But the prices, yikes. So help me, it's a funny Christmas season, though. They really have the loveliest Christmas tree, with needles about 4 and 5 inches long. Luscious looking, really. I helped decorate one for the kiddies at school, and the others said I had really good ideas, and that's what we needed around here. Young ideas, new blood. Nice, eh? Then we had to get our kiddies presents, so while I was at it, I got extra ones to make up a parcel for Gilbert. Marion said if I hadn't wasted time getting his parcel together, I'd have sent yours in time. So you know. But the poor kid hasn't anyone else to send things to him, and you know how much I love you. My kiddies were tickled with their things, paper dolls, cars, rubber knives, pinwheels, and boats. So they have 18 days holiday. Is it ever swell? Nice cards and letters from Eric's and Buddy's mothers. Did Mrs. Smith phone you to get the address? I had a nice letter from Marshall. Said he hadn't had a date since he last wrote to me. A fellow gave me the rose on the way home from school today. Said he'd seen me going by and thought I ought to get to know him. It was pretty. If we go to Miami, we'll stay at the Miami Beach Hotel. We finally got out to the largest alligator farm in the world, and it was really a big thrill for me. We took some snaps, of which I'll enclose a couple. Whatever possessed us to actually get in with them, I'll never know, but I wanted my snap taken in there. It's really dangerous, though, and we sure got out again in a hurry. There are signs all over the place saying to keep out and danger. We also saw the ostriches, peacocks, monkeys, parrots, and a rattler, and I saw him strike, rattling away. The picture didn't come out, though. It was so nice to hear about the blizzard because I find it hard to remember. It was so nice to hear from Alice. I'm supposed to look for a parcel from her, and Don, too, the old dear. He had 3 exams this last week and thought maybe I'd been too busy to write due to our Christmas concert. So you see, I just haven't been able to write to anyone, although we haven't had a Christmas concert. I got a parcel from Connie, and Marion got hers from home with a Christmas cake in it. We're not sure about Miami. We have a room reserved, but just for a week. Monday the 23rd until the 30th if we go. The rates are pretty terrific. I'd like to go. The fellows want us to stay, though. They say they'll show us a good time here. You know, it's funny, but in Canada, the kids thought that Florida and Americans wouldn't be so good for us. Now the kids here say Miami is a pretty dangerous place. Personally, I know it's not the place, but the people. You asked about the manager of that beach hotel. I still haven't gone out with him, and from what I gather, everyone's sort of amazed. I guess I'm the first girl that ever hasn't gone for the big rush. He's phoned and arranged it so that the other teacher's going out with someone and got her girlfriend to come for me and got this boyfriend to phone, and English says he's asked him time after time. Marion is still in the dark about everything. Last week, English phoned me and said he still felt the same way, and would I go out with him, and I said I couldn't. You know, we had a perfectly grim time because I was so crabby and wanted to go home. But he said he enjoyed himself because it was so different. Usually people at least try to be nice. Oh, it's a great life. Finally, he asked me if I'd ever gone out with the fellow from the hotel. I said no. So the next night, English's brother Johnny asked me to go out, and it was really swell. He's a year or so younger than English, and the only one I've liked since I last saw Don. I mentioned how hard I found it was for me here. This will be his first Christmas at home in 5 years, my first away. He was in Japan last Christmas. Not as much, of course, but when you go out with 24 different fellows and don't like any of them, it's not good. It pays to be good, though, because I wouldn't have been happy if I'd hurt Marion, would I? And you asked about the sailor who was sent away. He still writes, but I've never answered him. No point to it. The other sailor that came up from Miami that I didn't get along with has written about 4 times to get his pictures back. But so help me, I can't find the thing. It was just a snap. He said he'd get another copy and send it to me again if I wanted to, quote, have it around just for a laugh. I'll have to look. Haven't had time to answer him. In big surprise, Jack the Marine wrote to me at school and said he'd been phoning long distance in case I'd be going by that way for Christmas. He had the right number, so must have tried. So everything's quite busy. We sure do like the radio program, dear, and I find I'm an awful lot more interested in the news about strikes and so forth. Sure hope Merle will be happy and that Pop made a nice toast. But when I think of what she could have done with that job, it was a pretty good one. I do miss you all very much, but I realize what a wonderful opportunity this is, being here. Tell Bud I got color film, $1.65, and each of the 6 prints is 30 cents. They have a 116 color film for $1.90 if he thinks it's worth it. I'm always so glad when I get a letter from you, and if we go to Miami Monday, I'll tell you all about it. Oh, we went out to Dunham's to a party, and I came out high playing poker and won $3.60. Really proud of myself. Marion won $1.15 too. Bye for now to the nicest family anyone could have. I love you very much, and I'm always thinking of you. Thanks a million for being you. Love, Ruthie. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.